What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Underbuilt Garage. If you're new around here, welcome. I hope you stick around. Hit that subscribe button. We're doing awesome stuff around here all the time. Anyways, for those of you that have been following along, this is the Falcon for the Cheap Car Challenge. Last video, I rushed through it, got it out to you guys on Thursday. That way, I could get a video out to you guys today, Sunday. Anyways, we rushed through it, got this thing slammed as far as it will go. It kind of rides a little bit terrible, but it is what it is. We're not worried about it. It looks way better. But anyways, if you've been following along, you know that the transmission in this car is absolute trash. And I told you guys I was going to go pick up a motor and transmission, and I did. What else? The carburetor needs going through really bad. That was all just yesterday. I just got off work today. I have not even had a chance to clean up around here anything. Obviously you just seen that, that's the motor, but I'm rushing through this. We're going to see what we can get done before Sunday. Obviously we got a lot of work ahead of us. We're going to convert this thing completely to a 3-speed. It's an automatic now. This here is the motor and transmission, and I'm hoping and praying that this thing's even going to last, because that's the transmission. This is all just tail shaft. This it's so tiny. Hopefully it lasts. I don't know. Either way, we got all the parts to make it a floor shift and everything to put it in this car except for the pedal. I got to go back out to my buddy's house and get the pedal and the linkage that goes from the pedal to the Z-bar. So we're not going to use this motor, mostly because I was just messing with it before I turned on the camera, and I'm pretty sure that this thing has a blown head gasket, but we're just not going to chance it. We know that this motor runs, and all it needs is carburetor work. Unfortunately, there's not a good carburetor on this one, so we'll have to clean that one up, which no big deal. So let's see, what do we want to do first? I mean, obviously I know what I want to do. I want to mount the turbo on there and make it go fast, but I'm gonna turn the camera off, clean up around here, get this motor out of the way, get the car in here, get it up on stands, and see about starting to pull this transmission out. We'll go ahead and get this one in there, get that part done and taken care of, and then maybe then we'll start slapping the turbo on this thing. But for now, let's at least get the trans in there. We can get the Z-bar mounted, and we can do the pedal later. I just gotta wait for him to dig the car out of his barn, which is no big deal. But yeah, I'm gonna get this thing in here so we can actually work on it. I'll be right back. All right, got this thing inside, and I'll just show you on this one instead of trying to crawl underneath there and show you guys underneath the car and all that. So what I'm gonna do first is we'll pull the starter off. It's 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll have to reach up above and get all the bell housing bolts. Then on the automatic, through here is torque converter bolts. So we got roughly 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10-ish bolts. The cross member, drive shaft, and then that pile should just fall out. Shifter linkage too, but I might try to set the camera up under there, but it's pretty terrible under cars. I've said that since the beginning. Recording on your back, laying down, sucks. So I'll do my best. All right, it's story time. This morning, I got a text from my uncle, who is a avid Ford guy. I love you, man. I'm not talking crap. But anyways, I got a text from him saying, well, maybe you should have a better attitude towards Ford and maybe they'll treat you better. He didn't say it exactly like that, but this is what he was implying. He said maybe you should be a little more accepting of them and they'll treat you better or whatever have you. And I've been trying. I really have. I went into today with open arms and I was going to knock this transmission out of this car. I was going to put the other transmission right in here and we was just going to go out and make a hit and it was going to be awesome. It would be a floor shift. It would be a good time. So far, it's not helped at all. Let me just enlighten you a little bit. So, you just watched, we got the transmission out. It's laying on the floor right here. All right? So, pull that out. I start looking around, start looking at the new motor over here. Start noticing some differences on the bell housing. Okay, whatever. Now, mind you, had this been a Chevy, zero issues whatsoever. Stuff just works because Chevy was smart that way. Anyways, come to find out, you can bolt this transmission to this motor, but you cannot bolt this transmission to this motor. Why does Ford have to do that? If this was a Chevy inline 6 from the 60s, Jim's wagon, the guy I'm racing, his is a 64 Biscayne wagon with an inline 6, a 3 on the tree. You can bolt a big block to that transmission. You can bolt a small block. You can bolt almost any Chevy motor to that transmission. But here we are with Ford, inline 6, can't even bolt them together. Then on top of that, I had mentioned that I thought this thing had a blown head gasket. And if you look, the valve cover's off of it now, and I've been tinkering around with it. Yeah, it does have a blown head gasket. It is pouring compression out of cylinder, I'm going to call it 1, because I don't know how Ford numbers their cylinders. It's the front cylinder. It is just compression coming out the side of the block. The head gasket is pushed clean out the side of the block. Okay, so here's what's going on. I have done a compression test on all 6 of these cylinders. All but 1 have good compression for obvious reasons. The head gasket's literally pushed out the side of the block. I'll see if I can get a close-up and show you what I'm talking about. But all the other cylinders, good on compression. Obviously, this transmission bolts to that motor. So I think we're just going to go ahead and stab the whole thing in here. And on the plus side, this is a 200 inline 6. This is a 170. So we're going to get a bump up and a little bit of horsepower, what have you. But if I would have known that, I would have just pulled this motor out initially instead of pulling the transmission on my back. But here we are. So I ordered a head gasket for that motor. Of course, it won't be here until Thursday. Today is Tuesday. So, plan is yank this one out, stab that one in, and I guess we'll start building a turbo kit. But before we do that, we're going to have to get this downpipe, whatever you want to call it, off of this manifold, and we're going to have to weld it to that manifold and hope that it sticks because that manifold is actually broken. What do you do? Anywho, also hoping that the carburetor bolts up. So far today has been great, and I've had a good attitude all the way up until the last 30 minutes. Why do you Ford guys put up with all this stuff? I'm trying. I really am trying. I'm trying. But as usual, it's just fighting back. But anyways, enough being a Debbie Downer. I'm going to slide this out of the way. We'll get the cherry picker in here. We got to get the radiator out of this first. And then let's yank the perfectly running motor out of this thing and put in one with a blown head gasket. Because Ford, I guess. Like I said, I love you, Uncle Gary, but this is my luck with them every time. Alright, let's get this thing out of the way, get the cherry picker in here, and start yanking this thing out of here. Alright, I've got this motor ready to come out, I believe. Figured I could turn that thing on, and maybe this will flip over. I mean, it has before. We'll see. Yeah, I'm not sure if I got the chain directly in the middle. It's wrapped around a manifold and a motor mount bolt hole over on this side. So let's see how this goes. Probably, hopefully, better than everything else that's went with this car. So far, we're doing all right. We are caught on the gas pedal linkage and stuff. As long as it doesn't tip much farther forward than that. One of these days, I'll get brave enough to have a camera guy. I think the exhaust is holding it from flipping right now. Maybe not. Let's go a little higher. If it flips over, it is what it is. Anyways, maybe one of these days I'll get brave enough to have a camera guy here and be able to talk to you guys at the same time. Maybe. Doubtful. Probably going to have to cut the exhaust the rest of the way off. It is completely under the firewall. Other than that, everything's doing alright. Let me cut this off real quick. Alright. Get this the rest of the way out of here. Alright. Upsie. Up, please. Everything's looking okay so far. Problem is, the cherry picker is sketchy. I can't see what's going on in the back. Hey. You guys should like this video so I can make enough money to buy a new cherry picker. Help me out here. Doing alright. Problem with the cherry picker is if it gets in the slightest bind, it just likes to do a front flip, just whoosh, right back in there. So tight squeeze. You got it. Oh, easy. I think we're gonna nail it first try. All right. Oh, somebody left their extension cord in the way. Don't flip over. Yep. Out. Easy. Mint. All right, let me figure out where to set this thing. And then I got to take a couple parts off of the new motor. That way it just sits on these mounts. And then we're going to try to just sit this thing right back in here. The new one, not that one. All right, give me a second. All right. Got the new motor and trans rigged up here with the seat belt. Thanks, Chris. Let's see if we can't flip this maybe into there. All right, here goes. All right, don't flip over it, don't flip over it. Sorry about your fender. Just go over there, okay? Now, stand on the cherry picker while lifting the transmission. Okay, we're gonna have to scoot this over there first. Okay. Now, can we? If this thing flips, I'm just letting it go. Just being 100% honest with you guys. In there. Okay. We only need a little. Don't bite me. All right. Can we just do this? Aha! And there. Go. Okay. Just get the tail shaft under the firewall, like so. Push it a little farther. Perfect. Now, down and in, down and in, down and in. Little down, little down. Okay. In farther. Go. Whoa. Oh, not that you guys can see right now, but there is legitimately water coming out of the tail shaft of this transmission. Hope it can hold a turbo. All right, down. A little more. Oh, easy. Easy. Calm down. What's going on? We're going to slide the front of the cherry picker over. All right. In a little farther. Okay. This is an endless game. In and down, in and down, in and down. I really wish I knew where the pliers went for this. That'd make my life a little easier. Oh. What's going on? What do we call them? Oh, it's just the rocker arm on the firewall. That's fine. A little more. Man, you would almost think that this was made to go in there. I'm going to have to pick the transmission up. The bell housing is catching on the drag link. Maybe I can just flop it down here. Yep. Oh yeah, nailed it. All right. More down. What's going on over here? We're caught on something. Oh, motor mount. No big deal. Easy. Let's get a jack underneath the transmission here real quick. Now a little more. Okay. Let me get a jack underneath this thing. All right. Now what do we got? Looking good, looking good. We're going right for the mounts. That's good. Let it down a little more. Oh, this side went right in. What are we doing over here? Push this jack in a little. Push the back of it over. Like that. Where are we at? Oh, yeah. Down the rest of the way. Like a glove. Hey, stop being so loud. All right. That is installed. All right. I'm going to climb underneath here real quick, throw that trans cross member back in, and then we'll regroup after that. Okay, it's the next day. I did go ahead and put the trans cross member in last night, and then I ended up going to bed because I had to be up early for work, and I just got home, and as you can see, it's already late, so I'm not sure what I'll get done today, but we're going to give it the best shot we got. Today, plan is turbo. I want this thing on the passenger side roughly here ish, because I can, and that's where I want it. Plan for that is, I don't know yet. We're gonna have to figure all that out. Obviously the battery tray is right here, and that's gonna have to go. which is no big deal. I'll just take the bolts out and I'll probably just weld it back on over there, and then I'll just get a longer battery cable. Yeah, that's easy, not a big deal. The biggest problem is the manifold, exhaust pipe, whatever you want to call it. That bolt's now gone forever. This is the cute little guy that's for the manifold, and as you can see, the turbo lots bigger. I do have the V-band that goes on here, so we'll be able to clamp that on. I'm gonna have to go to the parts store and get a reducer thing to go from this size to smaller, because obviously we need to adapt it down to this size. I mentioned the header. We have to weld this to the header, which is fine. We can do that. I can put one bolt in it for now and start mocking all of this stuff up. The head gasket will be in tomorrow. So when I pull the head off, I can go ahead and weld this to that manifold and everybody will be happy. So let's see, what do I do first? Probably going to cut this off here and get the 90 closer to this, because we need it to do a complete 180 and come back up this way so we can knock it in here. So yeah, I'm gonna knock this battery tray out of here, and then I don't know, I'll be back when I'm back. Okay, so I think I got a game plan. This is obviously the stock collector, whatever you want to call this thing. Anyways, I'm gonna chop this right off and get rid of this puny little, I think it's an inch and a half, I don't even know. Either way, from all the exhausts I've done between the Camaro and the Catalina and just miscellaneous stuff around here, I have a bunch of 2.5 laying around still. I know it's way bigger than this, but that's not the point. What I'm going to do is, after I cut this off, this will go on this side obviously, I'm just going to weld all the way around this. Just weld it straight to the flange, and then we'll be right at 2.5, which is a plus. Then we'll just go ahead. I've got several other, well, not several, I've got another one. We're almost back going the other way with just that. And then I've got a whole nother U that we can cut up and make work. And then, easy, this is the V-band that fits over the bottom of the turbo. And then we have a couple straight pieces. I'll probably end up just taking this, putting it right in there, weld it to there. I believe I have the plug for this, so that won't be no big deal. And then, easy as that, I think it'll be done. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm just gonna go ahead and cobble a bunch of stuff together, see how it works out, and then I'll be back and show you guys. All right, it is the next day, and as you can see behind me, there's a spinny thing right there. I went ahead yesterday and got a bunch of little pieces cut up. I'll show you, but it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but just those two small pieces, a straight piece, a little bendy piece, and then the collector. And then I just used a oh, what is that? That's a temp sensor out of an LS to plug that hole. I didn't find the right plug for it just yet, but I will find it. I did go ahead and throw the carburetor back on just so I could see for clearance and all that stuff. That way we didn't get too close and start melting stuff. But I also just got home from work, but on the way home I stopped and picked up the new head gasket for this. Unfortunately, it is a little messed up. I don't know if you can see it. It's been folded in half completely before, but they made it right with me at the parts store. So we're gonna go ahead and use that. But also with doing this, it's gonna make it a lot easier to weld all that, since it's all welded directly to the manifold. So what I'm gonna do now is pull the turbo back off, because it's just a V-band, and then I'm gonna start pulling this head off of here. And once we get the head off, I'm gonna leave the manifold bolted to the head, because I'm not gonna chance taking those bolts out. And once the head comes out, the entire exhaust will come with it, and then I'll go ahead and weld all that when it's out of the car, and a lot easier to get to. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and knock out pulling this head off real quick. I'll bring you guys back when it's time to do some welding on this exhaust. Okay, so this looks terrible along with all of this stuff, which is fine because it'll be even funnier when we beat Jim. But I've never had to turn a head gasket into dust with one of these, but it was so stuck on there, it's probably from 61. This is all cleaned up. Let's just get it all back together. All right, everything is back together. Turbo's mounted, heads on, obviously, torqued with an impact. Carburetor, everything is how it should be. I hooked the vacuum for the distributor, put all the plugs back in. Turbo is mounted. Battery, obviously we got to move this from here to here, and the battery tray's off, and so we just tied a piece of baling wire down around the fender to hold the battery from falling down in here. What else? Oh, the factory wire, which I'm not sure if it's gonna work. This distributor has a couple more, or sorry, this coil has a couple more wires going to the distributor than the old stuff. On the factory, it just had this one wire here, and so I just kind of looped it around for now to see if this is gonna work. What else we got going on? Obviously, I hooked up the fuel line to the fuel pump and the carburetor. Plugged this off, kind of. Get back on there. Anyways, let's see if this thing will start up. All right. First, let's hit it with a little bit of fuel pump. All right. You got squirter? Perfect. Maybe one more. Let's hit the key and see what happens. Maybe we'll get this out from behind the turbo. I don't have an oil line on the turbo yet, but it should be fine, right? Let's hit this key. Mint. It is way too late to be running that, but we got juice. That's exciting. And it's obviously running a lot better. Still sounds like it has a slight miss at idle, but it did rev really good. So what next? What next? I don't know. It'll probably be tomorrow because I don't know if you can see it out there. It is dark. It's probably 9 o'clock, but we're on the right path. I just need to button up what little bolts are in here. Valve cover's not bolted down. Just little stuff. Get this battery tray mounted over here somehow. But yeah. So far, so good. Oh, and I still need to go get the pedal and stuff out of the other car. Get that in here. Get the linkages all working out. Cut a hole in the floor. Drive shaft. All of it. So, still got a little ways to go, but we will get there. And Jim is going to lose. Whether he likes it or not, it's happening. So, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll see what else we can knock out on this thing. Alright, so I did a little more messing with this thing. I did get the hood back on, and I made the upper pipe. All I did was obviously took a piece of pipe, stood it straight up, and then welded a T on it. I'm just going to have to, whoops, that's gone. I'm going to drill a hole in it right here, and then probably just run a self-tapper in it, probably 2 of them, because this carburetor does not have the normal carburetor stud, the air cleaner clamped around it. So we're gonna have to make that work. Like I said, I don't plan on making huge boosts with this thing, and to be completely honest, it's on there pretty tight already. I hammered it on there, so the self tapper should hold it on there just fine. I've got it ran over in front of the turbo here. We just need our coupler here, and then I have to get a V-band for this, and then we're just gonna run our pipe back and straight up. And that's going to be awesome. And also, with the hood, I did get some of the hole cut out. Give me a second. Alright, this looks cool. I did 0 measuring. I pretty much nailed right at the bottom of that. I think it looks awesome. And then, obviously, I'm going to doctor it up more so it looks better. But then the rest of this is going to be cut out because this piece of pipe here is what I'm going to use for the tip. But it's going to get cut off like right here, so it's not going to be that tall. But I think that's going to look awesome. And it's funny. Now we have a Chevy Falcon turbo thing, and I love it. Anyways, I did just get back from picking up all the pedals, the rest of the linkages and all that. I still got to make the throttle work because it's different between a manual and a manual and an automatic car, all that stuff. But that's going to be on the next video because, like I said, I wanted to switch to Sunday videos. It is currently Sunday, and this video I'm gonna have to edit it and get it all done and posted within the next couple hours. So, with that being said, that is going to do it for this video. You guys have to come back next Sunday because we're going to be driving this thing by next Sunday. We're going to make some test hits on it and just see how it reacts all together. I have a feeling that's going to be pretty fun and a really cool video. So I hope I earned the new guys the subscriptions. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, all that. And I hope you guys come back for the next one because this is going to be awesome. So as usual, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.